Welcome to Isha Inspired Fashion, Food, Fitness, and Faith. And guess what we're talking about today? I think it's pretty obvious. So the last several weeks, I have been on a plant-based diet. Trying it. It's not the easiest thing because I do like having meat on occasion. I definitely love fish, but just trying it to see how I feel. I like to try different diets at different times. So plant-based, so nothing, no dairy, no meats, no seafood, nothing like that. So it's easy making dinners because I love grilling a lot of veggies. I have just a ton of recipes that I use eating vegetarian at dinner. But sometimes lunch can be a little hard. Salads, you can only eat so many a day. I love salad, but sometimes I do need something with a little bit more substance. So I'm making this great sandwich that I've made for years. I have to plan it. I have to make it overnight. It sits overnight, and it's just the most flavorful, incredible, wonderful sandwich, and it actually can keep for a couple days. So it's very simple. I have a loaf of bread here. Now I actually have this is like a French loaf, but it has a lot of grains and seeds in it. So I like a lot of the seeds to give it a little extra crunch, and it gives a little bit of extra protein. And then all I'm putting in, I have 2 very, very ripe tomatoes. You want to use ripe tomatoes so that you get all those juices in. 3 scallions and a bunch of parsley. And then I'm going to put in some olive oil and some balsamic vinegar and a little bit of pepper, and I'm gonna wrap it up and leave it overnight. And so it's just incredible. So I'm picking out the insides because I wanna shove everything in the inside. I'm gonna mix this bread with the tomatoes. So very easy here, just pulling it out. And I don't eat a lot of carbs, but you kind of have to when you're going plant-based. So I'm just kind of trying to find that balance. I normally eat a paleo. That's so far the one that I found works the best for me. But there's just so many options out there for us. So, you know, really, I'm not a dieter. Champagne's not on most diets, and except for mine. So I just kind of do my own thing. I really like to feel good. So that's why I eat healthy. So I have that scooped out here, so I'm just gonna put that to the side right now, and I'm just gonna start cutting this up. You wanna do pretty small pieces so you get all the juices. Again, just a great summer salad, and this doesn't have to be perfect because you won't even see it all. So it's just kind of chopped up in pieces so that you get all those juices out. You can see that this is a good one. And I like to use all the parts. So I use it all the way down to the bottom, and then I'll even cut off the top here because it's still a good part, right? So there's that one. Tomatoes on their own, it's funny, as it's not, again, not my favorite thing, but it's interesting when you do all these different combinations of things, how much it changes the texture and the flavor. Anybody else have texture issues? So I'm just gonna chop the rest of this up real quick. I have to use a steak knife. I don't have a good knife for tomatoes. And I don't like to buy new knives, so I just use these and they work just fine for me. Okay. So here's this, make sure it's all split up, and I'm just gonna dump it right in there. In that bowl. And then I'm gonna chop up some scallions. Right here, chop them, and I like them kind of small. So again, you get a nice little crunch with them when they're nice and fresh. And so between the seeds and the heavier bread, we're gonna have a nice little crunch to this one, even though these will get a little bit softer in the salad. So if you don't like a lot of scallions, you don't have to put them in. So normally I do put some mozzarella cheese in this, some shredded mozzarella, but I'm not doing that today. And it's still gonna be amazing, I know it is. I know it is. So we got this, and then I'm going to just chop up about, I don't know, half a cup, quarter of a cup. Stems don't bother me, so I just do it up and pick them out here, but you want to kind of chop it up good. I'm sure there's a better technique than this, but this is what works for me. And I'm not trying to be a chef. I'm just trying to show you how I like to eat and some good recipes that I've found over the years. This is one that everyone that ever tries it wants the recipe. So that's done. Okay, get all that good stuff in there. Perfect. And now I'm actually gonna bring this back because I can put this on here. I'm gonna grab a spoon to toss this. I like the good old-fashioned wooden spoons. And I'm actually going to put 2 tablespoons balsamic vinegar. So it'll have a little kick to it, a little tanginess. And then I'm gonna do half a teaspoon, maybe 3/4 of a tablespoon. Here, I'm gonna mix all this up so that I can really see the balsamic. I want it to turn all the bread. And because I like pepper, I'm gonna add some pepper to it. So it's totally up to you. Doesn't need any salt with that balsamic vinegar, and with all the tomatoes, it just really doesn't. So there's that. Mix it up real good. And you know, there's about the consistency. I'm just gonna add a little splash more. Mix that up. And now I'm just gonna fill it up. How easy was this? Move this over so you can see this. So I'm gonna fill it up on both sides. I'm gonna push it in, right? So that when I put them one on top of the other, that it's not all gonna come squishing out. And I'll even use my hands to push it in there. I'm kind of a messy cook at times. I just like to get it all done and then clean it all up at the end. Anybody else like that? Or do you clean as you go? I should be more like that. All right. So it's all in here. I'm just gonna push it in so that we get it all in, and make sure it gets all the way to the edges. Make sure we got everything in there. Perfect. And I'm just gonna flip it together here. I think I'm going this way. There we go. Look at that. And it's all in there. So I'm gonna wrap this up. I'm gonna let it sit overnight in the fridge. I'll even put something heavy on it to squish it down a little bit. And then I will post some pictures of how amazing it looks when it's finished, how beautiful the inside is. So I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope that you're inspired. I hope you wanna try it. Let me know if you try it and what you think of the recipe. Have a great day.